This is the Drive-In Podcast, episode 37, take one. Bada bing, bada boom. Welcome to the 37th episode of the Drive-In Podcast. On today's episode, we have the Express Checkup with yours truly, Dr. O. We have our review of Taylor Sheridan's new film, Those Who Wish Me Dead from HBO Max. And then we have our top billing of the greatest supporting actors. So use the bathroom now, grab your popcorn, and enjoy the 37th episode of the Drive-In Podcast. Boys. 37th episode of the Drive-In Podcast. The weather's looking nice. We're getting 90-degree weather up here in Connecticut. I think it's almost drive-in theater season. What do you think, boys?
Oh, big time drive-in vibes.
Big time.
And on top of that, regular movie theaters are opening up almost to full capacity and soon to be at full capacity. Summer blockbuster season. We are in
buzzing
time where, I mean, I think it's great because I'm just going to appreciate everything so much more. So I'm be hitting the drive-ins all year, all summer. You guys are going to be listening to the drive-in all summer. And yeah, I mean, movie theaters are back. I just can't wait.
Drive-in reviews coming up from the YouTube. We got to throw that in there.
Stay tuned. We will be reviewing movie theaters.
Absolutely. All right. We got to hit those outdoor venues, and we're going to hit we got full capacity indoors. Like Nez is saying, we're throwing interviews at you. All right. We're going popcorn reviews, soda reviews, drink reviews, whatever they're selling. We're taking it and we're reviewing it. Ricky Flex, how are we?
Doing great. I'm looking forward to, I actually just passed the drive-in theater yesterday and thought the same thing. I'm looking forward to going to those, and also reviewing them with both of you for our audience. But I'm honestly looking forward to this because we have a lot to talk about on the checkup. I know it's an express style, but a lot of interesting things have happened since we last talked, and also interesting top billing this week. So I'm looking forward to it, boys.
It should be interessante. What do you boys say? Let's get to the checkup, huh?
Let's do it.
Express style. Let's do it. Netflix's Knives Out 2 cast is being finalized with several major names signing on the dotted line. We have Kathryn Hahn, who just won Best Villain at Sunday's MTV Awards. Yeah, because those matter. And Edward Norton join a stacked ensemble that includes Daniel Craig, Janelle Monáe, and Dave Bautista. Stacked. Shang-Chi and Free Guy will release exclusively in theaters for 45 days before being released on Disney+. Shang-Chi will release in theaters on September 3rd, while Free Guy will hit theaters on August 13th, both in 2021. Next up, Indiana Jones 5 casts Boyd Holbrook and Shawnette Renee Wilson in supporting roles. Holbrook is best known for his work in Narcos and Logan, while Renee Wilson is primarily known for her work in Black Panther. This cast already includes names such as obviously Harrison Ford. We got Mads Mikkelsen and Phoebe Waller-Bridge for the 5th installment in the franchise hitting theaters in 2022. Next up, some Space Jam 2 news. Don Cheadle teases that Michael Jordan will be returning for Space Jam 2. Cheadle says, quote, Michael Jordan is in the movie. Cheadle says matter-of-factly, suggesting that it won't exactly be a traditional cameo, though. He added, quote, but it's not in the way you'd expect it, end quote. To round out the checkup, we had a trailer drop for Snake Eyes, the new prequel to the G.I. Joe franchise. The official trailer has been released online for the upcoming prequel after its premiere at the MTV Movie and TV Awards. The movie is set to release October 22nd, 2021. That does it for the checkup this week, boys. Ricky Flex, which headline grabs your attention most here, kid?
Wow, great job, Dr. O, as always. But, man, I honestly, there's one thing I really want to talk about because I'm afraid it might not get brought up if I don't, but I'm going to have to start with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. What my biggest question is that Don Cheadle is saying it's not in the way you would expect it. What are you supposed to expect? I wasn't expecting a Michael Jordan cameo. So, like, what does he mean expect? Like, what do you guys think, like, a Michael Jordan cameo will consist of in this movie?
I think it's just going to be like, I think what I would expect is Michael Jordan to actually be in the movie, like at the end, be like, nice job, kid, or something like that, or just like a quick thing.
That'd be good.
I'm thinking now we're going to get like a cartoon or hologram or like a video. I don't think Michael Jordan like was on set. You know what I mean?
I don't think so either.
So that's a little disappointing.
Yeah. I was thinking more it was going to be like a picture and like Bugs Bunny would go, oh, this is our former savior, or like it would be like a clip from Space
Yeah,
Jam or
that's
something like
that
that.
too. Yeah.
So not actually a
Yeah.
cameo, just like something like that. But I just thought it was weird saying not in the way you'd expect it. I wouldn't expect Michael Jordan to be in this at all. It's like, have you seen The Last Dance? The whole
Mhm.
reason why he made that was because LeBron, after he won the title in Cleveland, said he's the greatest ever. He's like, all right, well, that's not possible. And he made
Mhm.
he allowed basically The Last Dance to happen. So I just don't.
Michael Jordan probably refused to show up on set
Yeah.
to this movie. He just said
Most
no.
likely.
And I actually have a couple ideas on what he means by like he sort of is showing up in this. He
Oh,
could be
let's go.
showing up as like when LeBron is animated, you know, that early part in the trailer. We could have MJ animated at some point. Or we could get they would never do this, but we've always wanted to see what if LeBron James went against Michael Jordan. If Michael Jordan somehow ended up on
On
like
the
the
Monstars?
Monstar version of the
Oh
team.
my God.
That would be interessante. And also
They would be
Don-
talking about that on First Take. They'd be breaking
That
it
would be the
down.
biggest
100%.
sports story of the year.
100%.
Cartoon Michael Jordan would not get defeated by LeBron James and the Toad Squad.
Yeah,
It's
well,
just
like,
not possible.
the Toon Squad would win. LeBron would pass it off to Lola for the game-winning shot, and then get eviscerated by Skip Bayless. Get eviscerated.
True.
And then I also thought I'm looking at producer Ryan Coogler. Michael Jordan's going to show up in this movie. Could they be referring to Michael B. Jordan, who is known for having a basketball background,
This is
and
what I like to
obviously
hear.
has a relationship with Coogler. So I could,
Oh, no way.
I could like
Yes.
that would be like
That's
that would be-
good.
that would be like Don Cheadle saying technically Michael Jordan shows up in this movie. So
Yeah.
I could see that happening.
And
'cause
Don Cheadle, remember, Don Cheadle's the one that spoiled Infinity War, saying everyone dies. People forget him when he was on an interview with Mark Ruffalo. He's like, everyone's dies, and
I think Mark
freaks
Ruffalo
out.
turned to him and was just like, "What the hell?
Yeah. So
What the hell, dude?"
let's not forget, like he likes to basically spoil things without spoiling them. So very interesting coming from him. So that's like the one that is like the sexy like thing from the checkup, I would say.
Yeah, another thing I do want to point out, Knives Out 2 cast is insane. Cast is
Your girl,
sick.
Catherine Hahn.
I also want to point out Catherine Hahn,
Peter.
who I've picked in two different top billings.
That's your girl.
One best villain at Sunday's MTV Awards, and I was getting ripped for picking her.
Not
In
ripped.
last- Oh, you ripped me. You said I was
It was
pandering.
more so
Yes,
Ricky
yes,
Flicks.
the
I
P
didn't blame
word.
you for the pick. I'm not
You
a
said-
big like. I'm not a
Yes,
big like.
I will personally,
ripper.
I will stand by my statement. Yes, and by the winner of that top billing, yes, I would stand by the P word.
There has to be an investigation launched.
Yeah, into your picks. But moving on, I think that Knives Out Dave Bautista, this is him going back to Blade Runner 2049, like get back to actual acting, not just action star and like for the money, like Stuber and Army of the Dead. You know what I mean? I feel like he's going to try to actually put on an acting clinic because he has said before, I know, Dr. O, you like to say this, that he's a better actor than The Rock. This is like more like you can never see The Rock doing a Knives Out movie. This is like where Dave Bautista is going to try to prove that. So this is actually really interesting to me. Him next to Daniel Craig. Jeez, let's go.
Bautista diversifies the portfolio. He's not only the action star. He's obviously he was a villain inspector. He's going to be in Army of the Dead. Army of the Dead is actually getting pretty positive reviews after its release in theaters this past weekend. I'm excited to see him. Edward Norton, I feel like he's been like out of the loop for the past 10 years in Hollywood. I just haven't heard from him except for Birdman. And then like he was the Hulk, and then he disappeared for a little bit after he's the Hulk. He's supposed to be in the MCU. Obviously, he's not the easiest guy to work with, but we'll talk about underrated actors. Edward Norton is that. But this Knives Out 2 cast, when I was blogging about it, I was like, how does it compare to the original cast? And still, the original cast is so electric. It's not only just on paper so good, the way they interacted was phenomenal. I can't wait to see how like Dave Bautista interacts with like Catherine Hahn. That's going to be such an interesting dynamic to watch.
Yeah,
So,
you have the Incredible Hulk, Drax, James Bond, and Agatha Harkness all on the same screen together. Like, let's go. Like, that's awesome. And the Incredible Hulk is the skinniest dude alive.
So I'll just right before we finish off talking about Knives Out 2, who are you most excited to see in the movie?
I think I am excited. I think the most interesting case is with Dave Bautista, but I am excited to see Ed Norton back in the mix again. Like he's never in anything, like you just said, and every time he isn't something, like he's always compelling to watch. Like whether it's a good movie or bad, like you always want to see Ed Norton. So I think Dave Bautista like is the biggest part of this checkup of this news for the Knives Out sequel. But Ed Norton, whenever he's involved, like you gotta say him.
And Nez, what are you thinking? Catherine Hahn, you can't wait to see her on screen.
I was gonna go with Craig.
Craig back in the
Daniel
role.
Craig.
Benoit
Yeah.
Blanc.
Just because I knew if I said Catherine Hahn that you guys are gonna yell at me. So
I'm most excited to see her in this role. Like she just keeps getting better roles, and she's like becoming more well known. Like she's gonna step up her game. It's gonna be awesome to see her in Rian Johnson's sequel.
if
Yeah.
only somebody
Her
drafted her
ascendance.
as an underrated actress.
Unbelievable. You wouldn't
Not
who would've
anymore
thought?
now.
No, yeah, not anymore. And then lastly, I wanted to bring up the Snake Eyes trailer just because I wasn't a huge GI Joe fan as a kid. I had a lot of the huge action figures, okay, but Snake Eyes, dude, he doesn't talk, right? Am I wrong about this? Like he's a mute. Does anybody
Yeah,
else know about this?
I'm
I
not a
don't
G.I.
know.
Joe guy.
I'm pretty sure he took a
I'm not a
vow of
G.I. Joe
silence
guy
as like
either.
a little kid, and then he's not supposed to talk, and he wears a mask. Like you're not even supposed to see his face.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so I mean, Henry Golding, I'm not exactly sold on him yet. I know Ricky Flicks is a big fan. Like, I can't really, I just can't like in watching him in the action scenes in this trailer. He seems a little goofy. I don't think he has that touch yet. I don't know if he's been around long enough. I know this is kind of like out of his territory. Usually, we see him in a lot of rom coms, like with Amelia Clark, and then we saw Crazy Rich Asians.
The
But
gentleman.
I guess it'll be interesting to see because, like, I know Ricky Flex. You were talking about him as a potential Superman.
As in he looks the part. Like if you want to mix it up, like does look like a Clark Kent and a Superman. I'm not saying he would be necessarily the best guy for the gig. I'm just saying he does look like the prototypical Clark Kent Superman.
I see what you're saying. All right. That does it for the checkup this week, boys. Let's send it over to Nez for our review of Those Who Wish Me Dead.
Thank you, Dr. O. Our review of the week is Those Who Wish Me Dead, starring Angelina Jolie and John Bernthal. It's available to see on HBO Max, and it's in theaters today. This is a no spoiler review. It's currently trending at 61% on Rotten Tomatoes and 6.1 out of 10 on IMDb. Those usually aren't that close. It's pretty interesting. But the synopsis is: still reeling from the loss of 3 lives, Hannah is a smoke jumper who's perched in a watchtower high above the Montana wilderness. She soon encounters Connor, a skittish boy who's bloodied, traumatized, and on the run in the remote forest. As Hannah tries to bring him to safety, she's unaware of the real dangers that follow. 2 relentless killers hunting Connor and a fiery blaze consuming everything in its path. So let's just go to knee-jerk reactions here. I'm gonna go with you, Dr. O. Can I get your first thoughts on this film?
Yeah, seeing that 6.1 out of 10, it's a lot lower than I expected from this movie because I really did enjoy it. I found it compelling to watch. I thought the subject of the movie was fascinating. You know what I thought of immediately when I heard smoke jumpers? I was like, Vinny Chase Entourage. That's immediately what
Yeah.
I thought of. I'm like, this is the movie that he wanted to make, right? This could have been Vinny Chase, but I really loved like the action in it. And what really stood out the most, I know we're gonna get to performances here, are the villains. Nicholas Hoult and Aidan Gillen. If you guys don't know Aidan Gillen from he's Peter Baelish in Game of Thrones. I thought those
Littlefinger.
two were electric. I thought they were menacing. I think they didn't pull any punches, right? They didn't they had no, I guess, weakness to them. And I
Right.
love that. They're just absolute all out pursuit mode. And it makes for a great action movie. Yeah, so I'll leave it at that for now because I know we're going to go into different categories, but I need to say the villains I thought were phenomenal.
No, the great thing about the villains is, yeah, they don't have like that stormtrooper, like they're not stupid, you know? They're
Mhm.
not like goofy villains, like they're intense. Like,
Methodical as heck.
they're scary,
Yeah.
they're smart, they know what they're doing, and they don't hold back. So that's really good because sometimes it's kind of annoying to see when, like, you know, you're watching a movie and the villains are just making silly mistakes because the
Mhm.
plot, because just for the plot. And some movies will sacrifice that, you know. But
Yeah, I'd
this,
argue. I would argue it's my favorite part of the movie. I would say it's like those two performances of the villains.
Mhm. What about you, Ricky Flex? How did you feel about this movie?
I don't think I'm as high on it as Dr. Rowe there suggested. I did like Nicholas Hoult in this. Especially at the end. Well, obviously no spoilers when at the end with Nicholas Hoult in particular. I thought he was really great and actually got that John Wick kind of vibe at the end when he's wearing the suit and has all the tactical gear, the guns and everything. I was like, all right, like he actually looks the part. But Littlefinger to me, like still, like I didn't feel right with him watching him in this. I just didn't. I felt like it was off. And I honestly, I appreciate his diversification. I know he was just in Peaky Blinders, where he wasn't necessarily an assassin, but similar type role, right? Back in the early 1900s, right? So it's very similar, but obviously different eras. But I appreciate the diversification he's doing. But I didn't exactly love him in this, but I didn't hate him. But I will say I did like the speaking of relationships, John Bernthal and his wife in this. I did like that. I think just the one
Mhm.
thing that I would say that kind of deterred this movie for me was that there were so many individual relationships and so many different storylines that you were following that it did just bounce around all the time and not
Mhm.
really just have a concrete like one or two storylines to focus on. It was just kind of all over the place with that, and I didn't necessarily like it. I didn't like how there's just so many things to bounce around. I did like the performances. I did for the most part. I did like the relationship building. It's just there was too many of them that I didn't really get. Like I didn't get a stranglehold on one of them, if you know what I mean.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree, and also it's a pretty short movie. It's an hour and 40
Yes.
minutes, I think,
Mhm.
and they have a lot of different storylines and relationships that they're kind of, I guess, diving into in this movie. So there's a lot to cover in a small amount of time. So I
And a
do agree with
complex story, like a
exactly.
conspiracy. They're going from Jacksonville, Florida to Montana in less than a day and a half. Like
Mhm.
there's a lot of things
That's
to uncover in an hour and a
That's that
half.
Game of Thrones travel right there. They just be teleporting. But no, I definitely agree with you. One thing I do like about this movie is I mean it's intense, right? I mean, you really gets you on the edge of your seat a little bit just because it's just like the action is really cool. I really enjoyed it, and I also think that the plot itself is pretty unique. There's a lot of rescue stories and stuff like that, but with the conspiracy, there's assassin stories and stuff like that, but then you throw in like the whole smoke jumper aspect of it, the forest fire kind of aspect. I thought that was a really cool, like, and unique story to be told.
Mhm.
So I really appreciated that part of the movie. I think Angelina Jolie did a great job, too. By the way, all in all, I think it was a decent movie. If you guys are going to watch this movie, the listeners, I would recommend. I think this would be a great movie to see in theaters. I think this is a great popcorn
I agree.
movie. You go out on a little date night or something, you watch it in the movies, it would be worth your time.
So I wanted to talk about, you brought up the smoke jumping aspect. Something, this is like, it seems like it's right up Taylor Sheridan's alley. Like it seems like it's something like it's taking place in the woods or it's in the Midwest or where are they in this movie?
Montana.
Montana.
Montana. So yeah, exactly. So having that setting and then the beautiful cinematography, I really loved like whenever the fire over the water looks beautiful, the ambers from the fire that are like smoking over the villains as they're like having gun battles, I thought was excellent. The gun stand, like the standoffs, Taylor Sheridan's so good at that.
Yes.
Where it's a building suspense, you don't know what's going to happen. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I highly recommend checking out Wind River. Excellent Taylor Sheridan
Unreal
movie.
movie.
But I did love that aspect, and I really thought Angelina Jolie was awesome in this. I think because I hadn't really seen her do anything special in a while. We're gonna get her in Eternals. Honestly, I don't really like her in much other than Mr. and Mrs. Smith. All right, that's a guilty pleasure right there. But I thought her character development was actually pretty cool. I think the writing of her character specifically was great, and the way she had to come back, redeem herself after her failures and leading those and having those children die at the beginning of the movie. It's kind of haunting her, and the way she redeems herself by taking care of the young boy here, getting over her fears and helping this boy out. I thought that was actually really good. I think where it struggled a little bit is the I would say John Bernthal's character, the development of him, right? You really like you wanted to believe like him and his wife, like you wanted to feel something there. I think Ricky Flicks touched upon that. I don't think you had enough room for that. There was not enough
Mhm.
runtime for it. I think you just would have been better off if like even like the wife didn't even get involved. I know it's just like almost just so you have Angelina Jolie, her development, and the boy. Too much aspects going on.
Mhm.
Right. I completely agree with that. And I think just piggybacking off what you said about Angelina Jolie, I agree with you where I don't necessarily love her as an actress, as in I don't love the
Mhm.
movies that she's usually in, but like
Mhm.
I respect her game, right? And I thought this movie was kind of really like perfect for her to showcase her skills. You know, this is like not an easy role because you're fighting with emotions, right? You're showing she's tough, right? She's like getting in the weeds with this kid and she's showing her emotional connection with this kid or building upon emotional connection with this kid
Mhm.
after like obviously the trauma that she suffered as a smoke jumper. So just shows how honestly, she's kind of broken, right? You know, they showed her drinking
Yeah.
alcohol all the time, and really her character development grew, and you saw that. And I feel like that's a testament to what she did in this movie and her performance. So I really did like her.
Almost like she's seeing it as like a redemption arc, her character, right?
Mhm.
Where she had this tragedy and then she gets to take somebody under her wing, and kind of basically redeem herself, I guess, from her own demons. I don't think like anybody's persecuting her for anything that she did, but in her own head, she's just like struggling with it psychologically.
Yeah,
It's clear.
and just to kind of relate it back to what we reviewed last week with Without Remorse, and we were discussing how like the bad relationship between, or the relationship wasn't really expressed between Michael B. Jordan and his wife, and you're supposed to believe like this revenge story, and you kind of
Mhm.
just did it based off of the synopsis, not necessarily what you saw on the screen. This one, there's constant reminders of that trauma, whether it was through the alcohol or through this kid, through the smoke jumpers in the beginning talking about it, and the conversation on the phone, or the flashback sequences, and like, and yeah, I can go on. It just shows how much of a better, like how much of a better movie this is compared to last week, and they're both action thrillers. So I just kind of want to relate it back to just something that we mentioned last week.
Absolutely.
Big time. We're on the up and up for sure.
Um, I also I had another criticism of this movie. I know like I'm bringing up a couple criticisms here, but I really did enjoy it. I have a positive review of this movie overall, but some of the things were a little far fetched. Like I know Taylor Sheridan, you want to make it. You always think of his movies; they're grounded in reality. You really feel like they're believable. But there are some things that happen here that really just maybe like almost roll my eyes a little bit. Getting struck by lightning, falling 30 feet from a tower. It's
Yeah.
just like, and then okay, you're hiding underwater for how long underneath these fires?
I didn't know if
There's no one to come to help you. It's like, yes, like you're a great smoke jumper, but you're not invincible. You know, it's
Mhm.
like it's just like feel like nothing was gonna kill her. You know,
I didn't know if we were going to talk about this since the no spoiler review, but yeah, I completely agree. Especially the ending was kind of bonkers how they just were allowed to do that. Like it was so
Right.
obvious that was not even possible.
And
But
then I'm not gonna get into a like the spoiler aspect, but like obviously this kid is hiding some very valuable secrets from his father, or like for his father, I should say. And I mean, when he's like trying to like share those, like he has this information. He didn't memorize any of this information. There's no way he has this.
didn't even look
like,
at it.
He doesn't have this paper, right? That has all
Mhm.
this info on it. Yet he goes to the news like he just like knows what he's gonna say. Angelina Jolie knows everything about his father. It's like there was no. I wish like there was a way you knew what happened with his dad, and that like it was like obvious, like yes, they're gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. But yeah, that was a sharp criticism I had. And then finally, dude, we need more Tyler Perry. I wanted to see more Tyler Perry
Mhm.
here. We had one scene.
And he was good. Like I was like, holy crap, Tyler Perry, let's go. He's gonna get involved in this movie. But then that was it.
Right.
I was so upset. I
I
was
was
so excited to see him.
I was hoping we get more of him, especially I really loved him in Gone Girl. So a take that I have not told anybody. I think Tyler Perry by the end of his career will have an Oscar. I think he will. I think
Mm.
I
see
think
it.
he's on the come up right now. He's like big in the news. He's awesome. He's contributing to society and everything. Like
Humanitarian.
he's just gonna put all his focus. He's very much.
I mean, he's
humanitarian.
huge. He's made a ton of money in the industry.
Right.
Oh,
but I don't
he's
think
made
he's
more money
really
than
like.
can even.
Yeah, I don't think he's really honed in and said I want to focus. So I guess maybe you're right. And I think I talked about this in the Gosling versus
Hall.
Gyllenhaal debate that we had way back. But I think, basically Tyler Perry's made his money and he wants to come in. He wants to focus on acting now. He wants to. I think that's a steaming hot take, but I kind of
100%.
see it. I kind of see he's getting into acting, serious roles, and like really trying to just come up as an actor in a film that he's not directing or it's not his studio or whatnot.
Like
So,
really
Should-
lock in,
Yeah.
lock in, almost like a McConaughey, like when he's doing all the romantic comedies. Oh, he
Mhm.
finds a script he loves, boom, hone in.
bam.
I feel like he can do that if he really wants to. But I can already see myself clipping this up and throwing it on Twitter, just having like him and like Medea's family reunion, like a GIF next to me, next
Yeah.
to my face saying he will win an Oscar.
But he's showcased enough skills in like Gone Girl and other movies, and he's so
Right.
dedicated to whatever he does, whatever he puts his mind to, he'll do it like through his like Medea, whatever, and the amount of money he's made there, the humanitarian work, all the philanthropy.
feel like he's
You
on
can
something
believe
big.
it, like through the skills and his dedication to whatever he puts his mind to. Like you can't say no to that take. You can just say, okay, maybe.
Are the Medea movies considered a cinematic universe?
They gotta be, right?
right?
Medea Cinematic Universe, the
The
Perry Universe,
Boo family reunion. There was a Halloween one, and then
TPU, Tyler
there was the
Perry Universe.
funeral one.
There's a ton I've seen. I don't remember. I remember in
There's a
high school I
wedding.
saw I Can Do Battle by myself. I don't know if she's in that though.
We might have to do a review of one if we don't have any new releases.
Oh
Do a
my God,
Medea
there's
Not
movie.
a bad
so-
idea.
There's
There's a
so
lot.
many movies.
There's a lot of there's a
There's-
lot of Tyler Perry movies.
I have to go down to like the next list on Google.
Full on marathon live stream.
Like there's Family Reunion, Diary of a Mad Black
That's a
Woman,
lot.
Family
That's a lot.
Funeral,
But anyways,
Goes to Jail.
any further comments?
I want to get quick shout out to John Bernthal, just because
Yep.
he inspired our top billing today. One of the best supporting actors there is, and it feels like whenever, like if he's in a movie, you know it's gonna be at least interesting and worth your time.
Yeah,
There's
you're
no
right.
like I've never seen a movie John Bernthal is in that I dismissed and turned off immediately. If he's in it, I'm like, dang, we're on to something good. Ford
Mhm.
vs Ferrari, Wolf of Wall Street, Wind River, like all these different movies. Like he always has a part to play, and he's just a frequent collaborator with Taylor Sheridan. And one of these days, he's gonna get a lead role. One of these days.
One of these days.
I do like him in Punisher, the Netflix show. I'm a advocate for
Yeah.
Punisher. I know it's a kind of a hot take post season 1 if you like it or not, but I'm a big fan of the Punisher, specifically in Daredevil. When he's in Daredevil season 2, he's phenomenal in that as well.
Will he
So,
return? Will he return?
Yes. All right. Well, let's bop around. Let's go around the horn here. Let's go with scores. Dr. O, you go first. Actually, no, you went first on comments. Ricky Flicks, you go first.
Share the wealth. Share the wealth.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give this a 68 out of 100. I like the movie, but again, I think there's a lot of storylines here, and way too many complex storylines within this time frame. And even though I did like a lot of the performances in this, it was a lot to work with and a lot of unbelievable story aspects as well in this. But all in all, it definitely worth to see. Like I think Nez mentioned, popcorn movie, definitely worth to see this movie. And if you go to a theater to see it, please do.
Do it. Support our local movie theaters. I'm going to go ahead and I actually predetermined 65, so I'm really close to Ricky Flicks here. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I thought it was intense. I thought it was a great popcorn movie. There's some plot holes and just some things that are not for me. However, still enjoyed it. Still going to give it a passing grade. And yeah, 65.
71 for Dr. O. 71. I told you before we started to really get into depth about this movie that I really did enjoy the action aspect. I thought the cinematography is wonderful. Taylor Sheridan writing in terms of Angelina Jolie's character, I thought was great. I thought her performance was awesome. I loved her relationship with the little boy. The villains, as I said, arguably the best part. Nicholas Hoult. Can't wait to see what he does next. This movie was 10 times better than the first HBO Max movie I saw, American Pickle. That movie sucks. Like that movie is terrible compared to this one.
I thought you were gonna say the little things.
Oh no! The American Pickle was back when like HBO Max like first
Right.
dropped.
Yeah, last
But like
summer.
no, this was 10 times better than the Little Things. That was abysmal.
Right.
But I'm glad that we got this movie during this time to kind of kick off blockbuster season. This is not one of these franchise movies, okay? It's not a superhero movie. It's not a Fast and Furious movie, okay? We're getting something that's somewhat realistic, and it's something that really will hold your attention for an hour 40. Angelina Jolie, #back. Can't wait to see her in Eternals. 71 out of 100.
She is back.
And John
Those
Bernthal.
are some good points.
And John Bernthal is about to be in King Richard, with next to Will Smith.
Oh,
He's got-
really?
Yeah, like because it's about the Serena and Venus Williams' dad, King, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, King Richard, and well, not King, you know what I mean. And John Bernthal
King is here.
is like the trainer, like the famous tennis coach, Rick Macy or however you pronounce it. So he's gonna be like the supporting role in that as well,
Oscar watch.
next to Will Smith. Yeah, exactly. Very cool.
Very cool. That does it for our review of Those Who Wish Me Dead. You can check it out on HBO Max or in theaters. I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to Ricky Flicks for top billing.
Thank you, Nez. All right. Today's top billing is inspired by a review of Those Who Wish Me Dead and one of its stars, John Bernthal. We just mentioned he usually is a supporting actor in whatever he's in. Think Wolf of Wall Street, Ford versus Ferrari, this movie. So we're going to do the top billing of supporting actors. Okay, so we are picking actors and actresses that are known to play supporting roles mainly. Okay, so Angelina Jolie or Leonardo DiCaprio, they usually are the head of that top billing of that movie. They are usually the stars and they are the leading actor, actress in that movie. We're picking the next person down, the supporting actors in that movie. So John Bernthal, teasing a pick there, eligible for this list. So we're, as always, we're going to do a snake draft style, 5 picks each. Once an actor or actress is picked, it is off the board. And finally, you must pick a minimum of 2 actors and 2 actresses out of your 5 picks. So you have to have at least 2 males and 2 females. So you're gonna have 3 to 2 and one of the other, but just a minimum of 2 and 2 of each. Can't overload in one category. The draft order goes Dr. O, Ricky Flicks, then Nez. So I'll go with you, Dr. O. You had the opportunity to get the first pick. You got it. Thoughts?
I'm so happy I got the first pick of this draft. I think there are a couple you could go with number one, but I think my guy is number one. And I'm excited that I had that name. It's not necessarily the Thanos that Nez had in the previous episode where there's that level.
Apparently that doesn't matter, but
apparently, but it's like you feel like you have this person and then it's going to really shine on the draft. Because when you take a best supporting actor, this number one pick is like, oh God, it's this guy. It is him.
Yeah. I think there is a
worried.
1-1-2, but I think there's 1 to 2 other people that if you picked him or her at 1, I would go, all right.
Yeah, they're all there's like 5 like first round picks and there's
Yeah.
only 3 slots.
Yeah. Nez, you wanted the third pick. You got it. Thoughts headed into this draft.
I'm kind of scared. I'm looking at my big board thinking it was unique, but now I'm looking at it and I hope that my first rounder doesn't get taken. But we'll find out right now with Dr. O's first pick.
Yeah. So again, just for the audience, we haven't had a lot of vetoes in our drafts so far. In our 37 episodes, I think we've only had like 1 veto, or only had 1 disqualification, but like I think maybe only 1 veto. So veto.
I instituted a power veto in one of
Okay,
the
but
the
there's no
Yeah,
such
segments.
I
thing
still
as
haven't
that
used my
anymore.
power veto.
There's no
I think you guys.
power
I think Ricky
vetoes.
Flicks used one too. I
No.
think I get to use one.
I never use one, and I'm never going to use one.
I thought you did.
No, we're never doing a power veto again. That was a one-time thing ever.
I'm going to be
Causes
dishing out vetoes
controversy.
left and right if I'm disagreeing with somebody. If
But just for the audience. But just for the audience.
Veto.
So for a veto to actually take into effect, you need the other 2 people to both veto the pick. So if only one person vetoes the pick, then the pick stands. The person gets to keep it. Okay. So like let's say Dr. O picked Leonardo DiCaprio. I will veto that. And if Nez vetoes that, then he has to pick a new person. If Nez didn't decide to veto that, and I did, then he gets to keep Leo. But let's be men of integrity here. So Dr. O, start us out with the top billing of supporting actors.
This guy is definitely on the Mount Rushmore. He's the first guy you see on the Mount Rushmore. In my opinion, we're talking Raging Bull. We're talking Goodfellas. We're talking Casino. I'm talking even Home Alone. I'm going Joe Pesci with the number 1 overall pick for best supporting actor. I think this is as like, if you are like, there's a couple that could vie for it. This is the guy, right? He he has never really diverted, other than My Cousin Vinny, into that lead category. Even when he makes a comeback, comes back to The Irishman. Guess what? Scorsese know what he does best. He goes next to De Niro, okay? Throws in a little jab or 2, okay? Comes back, gets a little violent, all right? One of the best swearers in the game, all right? Maybe of all time. Him and Samuel L. Jackson are probably vying for the number 1 spot there. And one of the most violent actors maybe of all time. I love Joe Pesci with the number 1.
Violent actor for such a like short, non-muscular guy.
Fiery.
No, he was also my number 1, but barely. And again, like he like, you just think of the other roles that you don't really know him for, like in JFK when he's playing that weird looking dude David Ferry or whatever. You said Home Alone. Like the man just doesn't miss when he really wants to try.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he really tries, when he's with a Scorsese doing Raging Bull or a Goodfellas or whatever, he will be up there and being nominated for an Oscar. Or he could just be a great, like, being Home Alone and just absolutely dominating that as well when he's just having fun. So I love the pick. Nez, any thoughts on that?
Great pick. I honestly completely, like, not on purpose, like left him off my big board. Huge mistake. But that's a great pick, Joe Pesci. He's an all-time and phenomenal singer. His song was on our pod one time too.
Will we be on it again?
Oh my God, was that the Goodfellas rap?
No, it's gotta get you into my life.
But I think he also did. Yeah. I know
I
what
have
you're
his
talking about,
music.
too.
I have that song on my Apple Music.
I'm pretty sure that there's a rap that he does for Goodfellas or it's Casino. I don't know which one it is, but I'll have to pull up that clip and maybe tweet it out. But
Interesting.
before we move on to the second pick, this is a good example too. Scorsese's like I view him as like a coach for like an NBA team, knowing how to insert those role players. Like he always knows what to do.
6th man of the year.
He always knows what to do with his star players. He's gonna put De Niro in a position to succeed. He's gonna be leading the way. He knows how to insert right Pesci, right? Where he's gonna bring the fire, okay? Where oh, he's a scene stealer in this scene, right? This is gonna be the most memorable scene in the movie. It's gonna be Joe Pesci doing his thing. Just let him roll. He's almost like the Robert Horry, right? He's a clutch player. He'll show up in situations and really make the movie well known, right? So that's kind of a weird comparison, but that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, no, because Joe Pesci, he's a Hall of Famer, like surefire, like acting Hall of Fame. He's amazing. So, but great pick. We'll move it on to myself for the second overall pick in this draft. I'm going to go with Christoph Waltz. I picked him in the Tarantino character draft. I picked him in Inglourious Basterds as Colonel Hans Landa. I also, Doctor and I both did not pick him as his role in Django Unchained because I already had him, but still, we both already had Inglourious Basterds character. But those are two of like the best supporting actor roles ever, like performances ever. So I'm happy to take him at 2.
Wow, my big board was really messed up. I had the first choice of picks too. Oh my God, what am I doing? Doing? That's a great pick. Darn it.
He was number 2. I wrote number 2 in parentheses next to his name. If I had the number 2 pick, I was taking Christoph Waltz. As you said, like he doesn't make that many appearances in movies in general, but when he does, it's in a supporting role, and he's obviously a scene stealer. That's what all these guys are. All these women are too in this best supporting actor draft. Like they all are so good that they hold the attention of the movie when they're not really the lead. And Christoph Waltz does that excellently, especially in Inglourious Basterds, and almost to the same extent in Django Unchained. So can't disagree with the pick.
Yeah, and he can be the good guy or a villain. Like you see Inglourious Basterds already with the greatest villain of all time. And even in a movie like a Spectre, considered not even a James Bond, a good James Bond movie, they still have to bring him back for the next James Bond, No Time to Die, later this year.
Oh yeah,
just because it's Christoph Waltz. So it just shows how good of an actor he is, but he's only really does supporting roles. So that's my pick. Nez, you get back to back here.
All right. Great picks, guys. I don't know how I'm going to follow that up, but this next guy is a personal favorite. You've seen him in many, many supporting roles, and every time you see him on the big screen, I smile. At least I know that. So my first round pick is Christopher Walken.
Nice.
I can't even all right, let's just go with this. His one scene in Pulp Fiction is like legendary. In Click, he's amazing. Like I don't even know everything that he's
bring
in,
up
like
Click before Deer Hunter. That's unbelievable.
I'm going off of like flat out memory. Right?
Biloxi Blues.
God.
Like
Biloxi
I'm just
Blues
like
is great. Underrated
like what do
movie.
I remember him for? I'm thinking the watch scene. I'm thinking Click.
The Bed Bath and Beyond doctor, whatever the heck.
Yeah, he's
Phenomenal
amazing.
dancer.
He's amazing in
Phenomenal.
that role. He's amazing in that role. No,
Also,
but
Fury's
seriously,
next. That's what we're gonna say next.
he's yes, and then Deer Hunter. No, he's very talented, and like I said, every time I see him on the screen, I know that scene at least is going to be good.
We should tweet out that scene after this when his top billing gets released because that scene is just so much fun to tweet out. I love
you're right.
Scrolling the Twitter timeline, seeing that, I love it.
Every time you stumble upon it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just an all-time voice. Like I just love hearing Christopher Walken talk, and I feel like it's a treat when he's a supporting actor because if you hear him talk the entire movie, you might get sick of him a little bit. But if you hear him every once in a while, you're like, "Damn, that was awesome!" it's like I gotta need a prescription, and the prescription calls for more cowbell. Like just like hearing him talk is one of the great joys, right? With
Mhm.
having it's like the Christopher Walken experience. So I like that pick. I had him definitely on my board. I had him as a top 10 pick, I think.
Nice.
All right,
Oh,
Nez.
I get to go again. So my next pick has already been mentioned on the podcast, and this one is just before anybody could steal her away from me. I'm going with Catherine Hahn, baby. Catherine Hahn. Third selection. This is the third time I'm drafting
Second round
her.
pick.
This is the third time I'm drafting her in a top billing, and for good reason. She's very talented. Check her out in Knives Out too. Thoughts?
I did
was
not see
targeting
this
her in
coming,
the
but I
third
did see it
round.
coming.
I was hoping that you weren't going to pick it because I didn't know if Dr. O would pick it. So I was
No.
saving that for later. That's a great pick.
So,
Very worthy.
you know, I mean, when I think of supporting roles, I think of Catherine Hahn. I don't think immediately of Agatha Harkness. I am thinking of Step Brothers immediately. Immediately.
She steals the show. Like every scene she's
Damn!
in. Yeah, no, she's like it's unbelievable. Like her facial expressions are amazing, and just the way that she can buy into a character is great. I think I'm like as you can tell, it's been I've drafted her 3 times, and she's one of my favorites.
So this is interesting because like I think it was easy to pull out all the males. Like I did that really quickly, and I do a little further research for the females.
Mhm.
And that one, so this I think this is like this is telling that this was the first one off the board because you don't know exactly where it's gonna go. Like Walken, Pesci, Waltz. You're like, okay, those are all first round picks. Females, where are they gonna go in this draft? Put the pieces together. Here comes the puzzle, Ricky Flex.
Oh, all right. So that's I'm up. That was a good transition, but I'm buying time. I don't want to go. Last time I went hardo, it didn't go well. That was my worst ever performance in a voting draft.
Oh, don't pander, man. Don't pander.
No, we
No,
don't say
Pick
P word.
go hardo, man.
P
Do
word.
it.
P word. P word.
I think
Wait, you're looking for the pick that's going to get you the most votes?
no. This is I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait on that pick just in case. You know what? I'll just do this. Sam Rockwell.
Ooh.
Sam Rockwell. He was in Moon, yes, but not very well-known movie, very small movie. But hey, three billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri. He was just recently in Vice. I know Nez is a big Vice guy. I love Sam Rockwell. Also, another great movie that's so underrated that also Nez's guy, Christopher Walken, is in as well, is Seven Psychopaths. Him and Sam Rockwell absolutely murdered alongside Colin Farrell, who's the lead in that. That's a great like low-key Sam Rockwell film. I believe it was like that was a long time ago, like 2007 or something. But that kind of like got him on the scene a little bigger. And then now everyone knows him as an Oscar-winning actor. But I'm gonna go him in the second round here. I'll play it safe. Any thoughts on the pick?
I love Sam Rockwell. I did not think of him at all, but he is like an all-time support, like modern day supporting actor. Three Billboards is the best example. But even if like I point out Iron Man 2, him as Justin Hammer, I think he's pretty good in that too. I know it's not the best movie. He's a little bit of a cornball, but I think he plays it up enough where it's like, okay, I buy it. You know, I'm a Rockwell guy. I even liked him in Vice, dude. I even liked him as Bush.
He's great in Jojo Rabbit too.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I choked a
Okay,
little
I'm
bit
trying
there,
to
but
find Sam Rock. You know, guys,
it
I
wasn't on
struggle.
your boards. Dang it!
No. I just not. He's more than deserving to be on the board. More than deserving to be on the board. I just forgot.
I like him.
No,
I'm
I
happy.
like him too. I guess I didn't like him as much as I thought I did.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's up back to you, Dr. O. Your second and third picks.
Starting in the second round. Ending the second round, I should say. All I have to say is not quite my tempo. Not quite my tempo. J.K. Simmons is my second round pick. We're talking Whiplash. We're talking Palm Springs. We're talking I Love You, Man. Juno. Even before Whiplash, I would have even considered him in this draft. Him in Whiplash makes him arguably a first round pick. I'm happy I got him at the end of the second round. And like even Commissioner Gordon, like he never is the lead. I believe he was in a Stars TV series, a mini series, I believe, where he played 2 versions of himself. That's the only thing I can recall where he is the lead. Can you guys think of any like J.K. Simmons lead movies?
I got nothing.
I literally can't
Using
think.
the
Even-
accountant as a
dude,
supporting actor too.
J. Jonah Jameson, the accountant. Like, dude, he is an all-time supporting actor. And I think I watched I Love You Man a couple weeks ago.
Oh, he's great.
And he is so good in that. Like his one-liners, his like straight face, like deadpan. He's like, my best friend, my son Robbie, and Hank Mardukas. It's just like a very, very like, I guess, versatile supporting actor. He could be very animated like J. Jonah Jameson, or deadpan like I just said, or he could just be all fire like he was in Whiplash, right? Not quite my tempo. J.K. Simmons, second round.
Solid pick. Solid pick. Not on my big board, but I do appreciate it.
I was toying with him and one other person on the male category for my last pick, so I think it's a great pick.
Okay, now we're going female. We're going female to start off the third round. I'm going Marissa Tomei in the beginning of the third round. I mean, what do you think of other than My Cousin Vinny? Right? What do you think of other than My Cousin Vinny? I know back, I do owe Nez a Miss Monica Vito court scene reenactment because I did. I lost a top billing a few episodes back, and I came in last. And what we initially were doing is that we have to reenact a scene by the choosing of the winner. The loser has to do it. And I actually was practicing this scene like for a week. And then Nez didn't show up. Nez was I think stuck in Mexico during that episode, and then we just never did it. So
I was in the gulag.
I think I do owe the audience, and I have to do this reenactment. I'm not gonna do it right now because I don't have it memorized in my head right now, but I did practice it enough where I think I would be comfortable doing it next episode.
Oh man, you guys heard that? He committed to next episode. We're doing it.
Do it, and
didn't have it till 63.
I'm not even gonna tease it right now. I'm not even gonna tease it. It's gonna be a complete shocker. It's gonna be like, oh my god, Dr. Rowe just went off, or Dr. Rowe just tanked. It's either one.
I can't wait.
There's no in between. But Miss Monica Vito, we're talking Aunt May, we're talking the wrestler Marissa Tomei, third round.
Nice, solid pick. And we got a commitment for now. I'm so happy after hearing that. I almost forgot. I was very close, but now I didn't. And now I know. And now we're doing this.
We're doing it.
Dave, Dr.
I am doing it.
That rhymed. All right. Who's next? Am I? No.
It's me. Sorry.
It's Ricky.
She was high on my big board. Very, very well done. Okay. So my next pick. I'm going to go someone that I kind of just, I like a lot. I just don't ever see it in a lot of the movies except when like they're big blockbusters. Keira Knightley. I thought I only seen her like as a supporting role. Like she's not a lead in Pirates, I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say she's a lead in Intimidation Game. Benedict Cumberbatch kind of dominates that. Is this acceptable?
Pride and Prejudice?
She is in that.
Is she the lead? I never saw it.
I've never seen it. I've only seen her in the blockbusters.
I just think of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, and Intimidation Game. I recently rewatched that.
Imitation Game.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. What do you mean? What do you think I'm saying? But yeah, so I really like
the Imitation Game.
Yeah,
you said Intimidation Game.
Imitation. Sorry. Jeez. All right. Well, I like her in that. She's also in Love Actually, but not really a big rom-com guy, but myself. But Keira Knightley's
I like that movie. I think you can get. At first, I was like, no way, and then I thought about it. I was like,
what is she?
No, he's right. You're right. No, you can get away with that. I'll give it to you.
I just don't think I know much other than Pirates of the Caribbean.
She's not in a ton. She's really not in a ton of great movies, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. But the fact that we know her name, it could be because she's a great supporting actress and
Where did
she's
I draft
phenomenal looking on screen.
British.
I drafted her in some British actors. Yeah. Okay, that's what it was. Because I remember looking at that during that top billing, and I was like, well, she's really not in a ton. But okay.
That's that, Nez.
All right. I got back-to-back picks, baby. Let's go. My next pick is a personal favorite. I think a very common theme for this top billing, at least in my opinion, is a lot of villainous people. There's people who get typecast as villains a lot, and this is certainly someone. I'm going with Giancarlo Esposito.
Ooh.
I don't think I've ever seen him in a lead role, but I am constantly seeing him in villainous roles. He's in The Mandalorian. He's in Breaking Bad. And he is, I think he's always a supporting actor. Always. Oh, he's in The Boys too. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
he's in The Boys,
He's
and
such a
people
good
keep up.
TV
people-
villain.
Yeah,
Mandalorian.
he is the
Yeah.
go-to guy for if you want someone to play a movie or mainly a TV like antagonist. Like he is the guy. He's so menacing. Obviously, it
Mhm.
started off with Gus Fring. This one didn't even cross my mind, but I love the pick. I can see him. Like people are talking about fan casting him as Doctor Doom in the MCU. That would be pretty cool.
Oh my god, that would be sick.
Yeah, so I could see. Like, I think it's only a matter of time before he joins the MCU. It seems like he really enjoys like these like franchises, right? Even if it's just like Breaking Bad expanding to Better Call Saul, and then obviously we already went through The Boys and we went
Mhm.
through Mandalorian and everything. But I like that pick.
Thank you. And my next pick is going to be a personal favorite of mine, another very villainous person, but a very talented actress. And that is Kathy Bates. Kathy Bates, baby. She's amazing in all of her villainous roles. Just so Ricky Flicks makes fun of me, the first one I'm going to go with is Bobby's mom in The Waterboy. No, but if you've ever seen the American Horror Story Coven, that season, she is like I hate her so much in that movie, but she's in a ton of different movies where she's the star. She's the number one. She's the villain, and she's very hateable. She's very good at playing somebody that you want to get angry at. She's really good at it, and she's an extremely talented actress. Extremely. So that's my
So
pick.
yeah, I wrote this one down just like I was every time before I start my research, every time I do a top billing, I write down as many as I can off the top of my head. And I took her off my list because I recently just watched Misery, the Best Picture winner in 1991, I want to say, or
Mhm.
90. No, 90 movie 91. And she won for Best Actress in a Leading Role.
Mm.
So like I took her off my list.
I
But
think of
but I did,
supporting
but
immediately.
no, I wasn't gonna veto. I'm just saying I do think of her as a supporting actress.
So it's
though.
funny that you mentioned that. So at the beginning of this top billing, um, or was it maybe it was before we even started recording, and I was like, I was putting like finishing my list, and I was like, so like, is it people like they could never be in a lead role, or
Mhm.
because I was looking at it and I looking at her IMDb, and I was like trying to figure it out and make my move there. But I think I think she's mostly in a supporting role for whatever reason because she's an amazing actress.
For sure.
But this one I was a little bit I almost didn't include her in my top billing for that reason, Flicks.
But also, if people want to watch Misery, great movie. It's on HBO Max. Again,
Nice.
Best Picture winner,
Mhm.
very good. Besides, I loved her in Primary Colors. That's just another shout out. I want to say John
Shout out.
Travolta, Emma Thompson movie, phenomenal movie, and I highly recommend that one as well. I think that one's on Peacock, but great pick.
I just wanted to quickly say her in Titanic also very good. I think she is good at being a villain, but she can do it all, man. Like she's very versatile. Primary Colors is a great example of that. Because like she, as Ness said, like she is a good villain, but she could do it all, man. I could see her like potentially doing something in the MCU just for fun. You know, she's
Wow.
accomplished so much and she's been won an Oscar. Like, why not throw her in there somehow? You know.
Cinematic universes are the devil. But yeah, that's my pick.
So it's back to Flicks, right? Or is it you? again?
Back to it's a no back to
How many? I thought.
back-
Did you pick two?
Who's 1-1? You.
Did you
wait,
pick
no.
two, Nez? I
Snake
only
draft.
heard Kathy Bates.
Yeah, I picked Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Okay. Then it is back to me. Okay. Coming
Lost in
back
the
to me.
snake.
I'm just gonna keep very lost. I'll keep it simple.
Same.
Steve Buscemi.
Nice.
Fargo. Big Lebowski, not as much. Kind of John Goodman kind of takes that ahead, but Steve Buscemi is just kind of that classic, a very underrated actor that could be in his own lead, as you saw in Boardwalk Empire, HBO show. But he just doesn't ever get the lead in a movie, like ever. So I love Steve Buscemi. He's kind of a creepy character, always a good villain, like you saw in Fargo. Kind of stole the show there. Besides a great performance by Francis McDormand as well, but Steve Buscemi, great actor.
On my big board for sure. He was right there. I'm a huge fan. Huge fan. What do you
I
have
had-
to say?
I had him on the big board too. For hard not to. I'm a fan of Boardwalk Empire. I think that's an HBO show that kind of gets swept under the rug by other people because it's not The Sopranos, it's not Game of Thrones, it's not, I mean, whatever's like hot in the streets. People kind of forgot about it. It was right after The Sopranos, but he's so good in that. And obviously Reservoir Dogs, that's like iconic Steve Buscemi. So I like it.
He never won an Oscar. Oh,
Yeah.
and Dr. O, he's in one of your favorite movies of last decade, Death of Stalin.
Oh my God, he is amazing in The Death of Stalin. If you haven't seen The Death of Stalin, highly recommend it. I want to review it on this podcast so bad. So
I'll
bad.
squeak it in soon.
It's one of it's one of the few rewatchable comedies in like the past few years. It seems like that's becoming lost, but it's like obviously it takes place right after the death of Stalin, but it's in the Soviet Union, but they're all using like regular American accents while they're playing these historical figures that are known for being like these brutal commies and stuff. It's very, very funny. Highly recommend to those who haven't seen.
All right.
Dr. O.
On Netflix. I mean, I'm going Morgan Freeman. Like, I mean,
Wow.
how is he lasting to the
Wow.
4th round? Like, we're talking, I mean, I just have to say one word, and it's Shawshank. I have to say Red. I can say Shawshank. I can go to the Dark Knight trilogy. Just
So
Morgan Freeman, like, I know Driving Miss Daisy, we're going back to 1985, but like post 1985, man, he is nothing but supporting roles. And we talked about the iconic Christopher Walken voice. I mean, Morgan Freeman might be like the most recognizable, calm, serene voice in the history of voices. He played God. When you think of anyone playing God, everyone's like,
Who else would
Morgan
you pick?
Freeman.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman. So I'm so happy I got him in the 4th round. That's awesome.
Good pick. Great pick. Honestly, a little upset with myself that he's not on my big board. Almost worthy of a 1st round pick if you could if you wanted
So
to.
good.
It's great value in that pick for sure.
Terrific value. I thought of him. I just too nervous to pick him. I don't know why. This draft is getting into my head. But your last pick, Dr. O.
I have to go with a female. I'm going to pick someone that is dark. It's part of Mayo's favorite universe with the Harry Potter franchise. Someone that's been in David Fincher films, and that is Helena Bonham Carter. I'm going with her as my 5th round pick to round out my draft. Talk about someone that's just like almost typecast and be that villainous antagonist character. She just looks like she has a dark past when you just look in her eyes. Like she's got a little bit of those crazy eyes. They got a little action going there. It's like, oh, stay away from her. Bellatrix Lestrange. I thought she was amazing in Fight Club, but I'm going to go with Helena Bonham Carter as my last pick.
Excellent pick, Dr. O.
I have
You're
a
on
complete
fire.
draft here,
You're
boys.
on fire right
I got
now.
a complete
No,
draft.
this
here.
is probably your
Holy
best draft
smokes!
ever right here.
Yeah.
Heating up.
Jesus, this guy is on fire.
Well,
Good pick. Bellatrix
Locked in.
is great.
Locked in.
Bellatrix is great.
again,
One of my favorite Harry Potter characters.
Menacing.
well, great pick, Dr. O. That rounds out your draft. I'm just gonna go my final one. It might be a hardo pick, but I don't think I'm winning this right now at the moment. But you never know. I'm going Sally Field. This is another similar one where she has been nominated as a lead actress before, but she's also when you think of her, you're thinking Lincoln. You're thinking her on her knees to Daniel Day-Lewis yelling at him, saying she's gonna if her son goes to the war, she's just gonna kill herself. You're gonna think of her in Forrest Gump saying life is like a box of chocolates. You're gonna think of her in Mrs. Doubtfire being Robin Williams' ex. You just think of her as that supporting character, not necessarily those roles that she was in the leading, similar to Kathy Bates. So I'm just gonna go a little hardo here. Sally Field.
Hardo.
I like Sally Field. I think like one of the roles I keep bringing, I'm obviously bringing up superhero movies. I got Guardians of the Galaxy right behind my right shoulder here, but I thought she was actually pretty good as Aunt May in The Amazing Spider-Man. I enjoyed her, like even more so than my own pick, Marissa Tomei as Aunt May. I think she was like, she's a little older, wiser, almost more meant for the role. But I mean, you're going with Mrs. Gump. We shouted her out last podcast. Yeah, I don't disagree. I can't really hate on Sally Field. She's a saint.
Yeah. All right, Nez, your final pick, Miss or Mr.
It's a Mister. I'm going with Mister here.
Mister.
But I don't know which one to go with. So I'm gonna go with one, and then you guys let me know if you're gonna veto it, and then we will.
No vetoes yet.
All right. I'm going with Don Cheadle. Supporting?
Easily.
Solid. All right. Don
Good pick.
Cheadle
Easily.
is my Mr. Relevant 5th round pick of this top billing draft. Excellent in the MCU, in the Oceans movies, even though there's only one good Oceans movie. But I think he's excellent. And he cracks me up in those movies. And I'm sorry, I'm really bad at remembering like what movies each person's
Boogie
in.
Nights.
But I know every time I see Don Cheadle on the screen, oh, he's in Crash.
Space Jam 2.
He's in Space Jam 2.
He's a War Machine as well.
Crash is
And
a good
Iron
one.
Man 2 and on.
Exactly. So every time I see Don
Hotel
Cheadle in a
Rwanda.
movie, it's pretty good. Hotel Rwanda.
Yeah, as
Is
one
he
like
the lead in
leading
that
role.
though?
Yeah, but like that's like it's the same
It's
thing
like the
that we were
one,
just
yeah.
It's
discussing.
like Kathy
yeah.
Bates.
Yeah, exactly.
He's known as the side character.
Right,
for
you're
sure,
right. So
a
Don
supporting
Cheadle,
role.
yeah, that's my guy. What
I,
do you guys think?
Go ahead,
I
go
was
ahead.
just gonna say you don't like Ocean's 13. I'm assuming the only one you were saying is Ocean's 11 that you like. Do you not like Ocean's 13?
No.
Oh, I like Ocean's 13. Oh
Are
yeah.
you serious?
Yes.
I have to
Al
rewatch 12 and
Pacino.
13.
I
watched
like
them when
it.
I was
I like
young.
Ocean's 13. It's obviously nowhere near 11. 11's an all-time.
Ocean's
movie in
11
itself.
is great.
It's an
Ocean's
all-time movie.
12
Terrible.
is like one of the worst. It's like a comically bad movie.
Yeah.
Ocean's
I agree.
13 is like,
I enjoyed
okay, it's better than Ocean's 12. And then you get towards the end, you're just like,
It's
no.
Ocean's
what?
13 is what's
Mm-mm.
going to be on TNT all the time, and you're just like, oh, I'll watch it. That's
No,
Wait,
no, I can't.
yes, it is.
I can't.
Yes, it is.
R-
It
Ricky
is a
Flex,
cable
this-
movie
it's-
to
that-
the
You
max.
know what that movie is? Okay.
I'm just saying, I'm not going to watch it every
You're having
time.
your friends over. You're planning on going out later. You got to throw something on. Even when you have like even some light music playing, you got bops going. You'll throw on Ocean 12 or 13. Just like okay, it's the Ocean. It's one of the best casts of all time.
Right.
So it's gonna be.
Sometimes when I want to feel better about myself, I throw on the Ocean's 12 laser dodging scene. That is just one of the worst things I've ever seen in my entire life. I remember watching this and just being like shocked, like in awe, like that they even released this. Like it was so comically bad.
Right.
And then they got another movie. It's just insane. But Ocean's 11, love that movie.
My favorite Don Cheadle line in any movie is when it's Ocean's 11. He's underneath the sewer grate, or I forgot what it was. He's just like, covered in crap, and he goes to the team. He goes like, "What in deep, Bonnie?" And then they're looking at him. He's like, "Bonnie, Bonnie Rubble, trouble." It's my favorite Don Cheadle line. That's why I say it all the time. And I'll even like say it to like my friends. I'll just be like, "We're in Barney right now. We're in Barney." Those they
And
won't
deep
even know what I'm
Bonnie.
talking
I'm gonna
about.
start doing that now.
And deep
Even though my
Bonnie right
English,
now, fellas.
my accent is so bad, as
Bonnie
evidenced
Rubble.
many a times on
Rubble.
this podcast. But yeah,
That's a good pick. That's a good last pick, I think. That was a good Mr. Irrelevant. But before we do honorable mentions, let me just read off the draft, each of our drafts, and then I'll throw it over to you guys for some honorable mentions. So Dr. O has Joe Pesci, J.K. Simmons, Marisa Tomei, Morgan Freeman, and Helena Bonham Carter. Ricky Flicks has Christoph Waltz, Sam Rockwell, Keira Knightley, Steve Buscemi, and Sally Field. Nez has Christopher Walken, Catherine Hahn, Giancarlo Esposito, Kathy Bates, and Don Cheadle. Nez, any honorable mentions?
oh yeah, oh no,
What? Oh no!
I
What?
had them in the notes on my phone. Willem Dafoe.
Mm.
Willem Dafoe, yes or
Recently,
no?
Well, like the Lighthouse, he had the lead, and then he was
Mhm.
also Van Gogh. But
Florida
if you look
Project as well. He's been
yeah,
the lead
his-
recently
if
a
you
lot.
look deeper in his career, though, I would agree. Like if you go back
Mhm.
to Mississippi Burning, even like when he's playing the villain in Spider-Man, like he was mostly supporting up until recently.
Mhm.
Yeah, English Patient. Like he usually is supporting. So I wouldn't have vetoed, but I would have mentioned that for sure. I think that
Yeah.
would have been a good pick. Any others?
Not me, no.
Doc?
I
Hold on to
deleted my
your
list
butts.
by
I got a
accident.
lot here.
Okay.
Michael Caine, one.
Oh, good.
One. I can't believe he didn't get drafted. Is Samuel L. Jackson. I think is one of the best.
I would have vetoed.
actors.
I would have
Really?
vetoed for
Like
sure.
wait, what? Was it
He's
Snakes on a
Jackie Brown.
Plane?
He's
Like,
an A-list actor. He's
So?
Jackie
always
Brown, Snakes on a
he's
Plane.
Snakes on a Plane, Shaft.
Jackie
the
Brown
Hitman-
is supporting.
You could argue that
No,
he's the
but-
main. You could argue that he's the main character of Hateful Eight.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
he
I
definitely is.
guess, but he's
I
in
don't
so many
think of him as-
supporting roles.
just
Like,
because-
he's the highest grossing actor of all time. Like that, in most of those roles are not in the lead role.
But he can carry a lead role. Like if you look down all of our lists, like I think none of them like none of them would be an A-list actor that would carry a movie besides Samuel L. Jackson if he was picked.
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, but Morgan Freeman never has done.
Back in the day.
Samuel L. Jackson like does box office like Shaft.
Okay.
like, those
I
type
see
of
what you're
movies,
saying. Snakes on a Plane. We went over that one.
Yeah. He does a lot of those type of movies.
Fine. I'll get back to. I'll hone in more on the supporting aspect. Michael Shannon, I had on my list. John C. Reilly. One of me and Ricky Flick's personal favorites, Ike Barinholtz.
Ike.
And then lastly for males, I had Cillian Murphy. I've been into
That's a good one.
I've been in Peaky Blinders lately. I think Christopher Nolan movies. I think Cillian Murphy. By the way, like Peaky Blinders, I just finished season 2. I'm not going to spoil anything, but what kind of deal did the Arctic Monkeys have with Peaky Blinders and Netflix? This is
Arctic
insane.
Monkeys were really popping at the time.
They're in every episode. Every single episode, it's usually a different song. I'm like, dude, they just make the entire soundtrack to the show except for the opening song.
Yeah.
But you want me to go to actresses, or we just want to go through the actors first?
Oh, I guess I'll go some actors here. Ben Foster.
Ooh.
Paul Giamatti.
I would have picked him.
Mark Strong. Just always a villain and everything. Just very recognizable. And Robert Duvall. Just he's always been known, similar to like a Joe Pesci, just always in with the great directors and always supporting role. And then final one, I have no idea how to pronounce his name. Digimon Hunsu.
Digimon Hunsu.
Yeah, Amistad. The Amistad, the Gladiator. Like, you know. So those are all I had for actors. Actresses, Doc.
I was pretty short on this category. I was happy I got Helena Bonham Carter, but Allison Janney was good in I, Tonya. I really liked her. It's someone that is like, I don't know any of the movies she's the lead in, but Laura Dern I thought would have been an entertaining pick.
On my big board. She's
like
awesome.
Marriage Story. Even like if I go back to Jurassic Park, like it's just she is mainly a supporting role and she does really well in them. So
she's great.
That's really. And then I had Octavia Spencer.
Yeah. Octavia Spencer was like one where she just recently tried to do a lead in Ma, and it just went horrible for her.
Right.
And it's just So obviously,
I never saw that movie, but I actually really.
I couldn't get.
I heard people said it was like surprisingly good. Like the trailer,
Really?
like it looks like one of those movies where you know it's going to be terrible.
Maybe I just have to.
But then people that I said
saw.
saw it said it was like, wow, it's actually not awful. That being said, I could not sit down and watch that.
I didn't get to the first act, so maybe I have to get to the first act. But
potentially, you let me know how that goes.
And then I had Joan Cusack on my list. Let's see, Tilda Swinton.
I was about to say Tilda Swinton.
Tilda.
Okja on Netflix. That's a Jake Gyllenhaal and Bong Joon-ho movie. Tilda Swinton's like the villain in that. She's great in that. Kate Mara. And finally, Leslie Mann, who's like always Paul Rudd's wife and everything.
Yeah.
You're right. Oh my god.
She's married to Judd Apatow.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Fun fact for the kids.
But very well done, boys. That does it for our top billing of supporting actors. Nez, throw it back to you.
All right. Thank you, Ricky Flicks. That will conclude this episode of the Drive-In Podcast. Thank you for listening, and please leave us a review wherever you're listening to this and rate us 5 stars. Next week, we will be reviewing Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, starring Dave Bautista. It is in theaters now and on Netflix this Friday, May 21st, so make sure you tune in for that. Thank you very much for listening, as always, and we will
smell ya.